Hello and welcome back to Unboxed Imagination. I'm Chanel. I hope that you have had a very pleasant day and you were able to spend some time doing something that you love with the people that you love, and that you are now ready for a few moments of quietness, peace, stillness, and just a time to reflect. As per usual, just before we begin, I'd like to invite you to find somewhere that you are comfortable, that you can have a few moments, preferably undisturbed, and that you can really gift yourself the opportunity to be still. As per usual, also before we start the story, I'd also like to invite you to have a mindful moment where you are fully allowing yourself to be present and ready to receive the story. And one way of doing that is through breath. Just taking a few nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and fully allowing yourself to become centered in the space that you are, noticing your feet on the ground. What does that feel like? Do you feel supported? What is your posture like? Does that feel supported? And just noticing whether you have any tension throughout your body, scanning from the tops of your head down into your neck and shoulders, down your back. Just continuing to scan down and adjusting yourself accordingly. Do not forget to breathe also. Breath is such an essential part of our being, our survival, our living and thriving. But yet, often we find that we are not fully inhaling or exhaling. So, in this moment, we're going to find that time and space. And in order to do that, you might want to close your eyes if that feels more comfortable, or lower your gaze, or find a fixed point in the room where you can just hold your gaze while scanning your body and grounding yourself. And I'm going to just give you a minute to do that, where it's going to be silent, and it really allows you to tune into your body at this time. Right. I hope that silence felt enriching and not too painful. And so we shall begin. Today's story is called Open Hands, Open Heart. The house was quieter now, too quiet. Sarah stood by the kitchen sink, staring out of the window at the empty driveway. For years, the house had been filled with laughter, with footsteps racing up and down the stairs, with late night conversation over cups of cocoa. But now, her children were grown, walking their own paths, some steady, some uncertain. And she was left with waiting and wondering. Her youngest had just called, voice shaky over the phone. A mistake had been made. A lesson was unfolding. Sarah had swallowed the urge to fix it, to step in and shield them from the consequences. But deep down, she knew this was a journey they had to walk on their own. She sighed and sat down at the kitchen table, running her fingers over its familiar grooves. Had she done enough? Had she prepared them well? A warm breeze drifted through the open window, shifting a memory in her heart. Long ago, Hannah prayed for a child, and when God blessed her with Samuel, she had given him back to the Lord. Not because she didn't love him, but because she did. She knew he was never truly hers to hold on to. Sarah closed her eyes. She had spent years holding, teaching, guiding, but now her hands were no longer meant to grip. They were meant to release. It wasn't easy. It never would be. But hadn't Jesus told a story of a father who let his son go? The father hadn't chased after him, hadn't pulled him back when he made mistakes. He had waited, prayed, trusted, and when the time was right, he had been ready with arms open wide. Sarah wiped a tear from her cheek and folded her hands in prayer. Lord, they are yours. They always have been. A peace settled over her, warm and steady. Her love had never been about control. It had always been about trust. And trust meant letting go so that God could do the work only He can do. The house was still quiet, but now it didn't feel empty. It felt full, full of love, full of faith, full of certainty that no matter where her children went, they would never walk alone, and neither would she. I hope this story has blessed you. I know how difficult it can be to let go, whether that be of our children or things of the past. But our lives are seasonal. We go through seasons, we go through changes, which are inevitable. But I find trusting in the process to be one of the most challenging but rewarding things that you can do for yourselves, opportunities that you can unlock for yourself. So I want to encourage you to trust the process, allow the changes to happen, and know that you've done enough, and let the Father do the rest. I want to say You are loved. You are valued. You are seen. I wish you a good night of peace, rest, and stillness. Good night and God bless.